Hello dear friends, welcome to the second video of our Kurdish series. In the last video, I was with you with my Cedric t-shirt. This time I am with my Evin t-shirt. Evin means love in Kurdish, by the way. Anyway, let's move on to the class. In this class, we are going to see how noun clauses are made in the Kurdish language. So let's get started. I've written some explanations here. So please pay attention. Sentences whose predicate is a noun are called noun clauses. As in English, in the Kurdish language, noun clauses are made with the help of the verb bun. Bun exactly means to be in English. And this verb comes after the nouns and take these forms. Before we move on to the forms, I want to make something clear. In this lesson, we will only focus on the third person plural and singular. And the other ones are you, we, you for the plural. We are going to focus on these in following videos, in next videos. So now let's focus on how the verb to be is formed in noun clauses with the third person plural and singular. So let's see it. So let's see how the verb to be or bun is used if the subject of the sentence is singular. So as you can see in the explanation, if the subject of the sentence is singular, e or ye is used in the predicate. So let's first see two example sentences, and then we are going to see when to use e and when to use ye. So in the example sentence, Melik khwande kare, which means Melik is a student, as you can see, it takes the e form. And in the second one, underneath, Melik zanaye, Melik is knowledgeable, it takes the ye form. So now let's see when to use e and when to use ye. So let's see when to use e. So it's an important difference between e and ye. E is used after consonants. So if you see that the word before ends in a consonant sound, e should be used. With these examples, you are going to understand better. So as you can see, azat and dezyare. Before e, here comes an R sound. It's a consonant and it should be e. In the next one, you can see the translations as well. Azat and dezyare means Azat is an engineer and dezyar means engineer. Roni muzikvane. Here you can see it is preceded by N. It's a consonant sound, it should be E. Rojda bashe, which means Rojda is well. By the way, Roni muzikvane means, clearly Roni is a musician. Muzikvan, in Kurdish we say. Rojda bashe. As you can see, it's preceded by she, it's a consonant sound, and it should be e. Rojda bashe. Rojda is well. In the other one, in the last example, Rojin nekhweshe. Just like here, as you can see, it's preceded by she, so it should be Rojda, Rojin nekhwesh e. Rojin is sick. Nekhwesh means ill or sick. And after this, let's see when to use ye. So now let's learn when to use ye. So as you can see in the explanation, ye is used after vowels. So whenever you see, if the word before ends in a vowel sound, you should use ye. So let's make it clear with examples. Shilan mamoste ye. Before ye, we can see that the e sound is used. It's a vowel, so you should use ye. Shilan is a teacher. In the next example, Tajdin jihatiye, it is preceded by e. It's a vowel sound, as we saw in our first video about the Kurdish alphabet. So Tajdin is hardworking. It means jihatiye. Hesp bezaye. Hesp means horse, by the way. Beza. So before ye, you can see that the word ends in a R sound. So you should use ye. Hesp bezaye. Horse is fast. And in the last example, usif burchiye. Burchi means hungry in the Kurdish language. So as you can see, it is preceded by E sound, as in jihati. So the word thirsty also ends in E sound, T. Thirsty. In both of the examples, usuf burchiye. The word burchi ends in E, so it should be ye. Usuf tiye. Usuf is thirsty. Again, you should use ye. Usuf burchiye, usuf tiye. So now we are going to see what to use with the plurals when the subject is plural. So now let's see that. So friends, now let's see what to do with the plural subjects. So, as I have made it clear, if the subject of the sentence is plural, there are two options, n or ne. And the rule applies to this form as well, in the same way, as we just learned. So, there are two options, two possibilities. So if it's preceded by a consonant, you should use n. However, if it is preceded by a vowel, you should use ne. Let's make it clear with examples, and I'm going to say one important thing about the predicate, how to write the predicates in the same way. I'm going to repeat it at the end of the video. So now let's see it. So dear friends, with our final examples, let's see when to use n with plurals and when to use ne. As I said, the same rule applies to plurals as well. So as you can see in the first three examples, the words end in consonants. For example, Aydın u Melik Kurdîxane, which means Aydın and Melik. Sorry, not teachers, students. Sorry. Not teachers, students. Kurdîxane means student. Ya şuna degree, bravo reba. Degree. Ha tamam. Aydın and Melik. Aydın u Melik Kurdîxane. Sorry, some confusions in my mind. Aydın and Melik are students. So Kurdîxane, which means student, ends in R, re. So it should be n. In the next one, Usif usarhat havalın. Haval means friends in Kurdish. It's preceded by le, L sound, a consonant. So it should be Usif usarhat havalın. The last example, Bekiru khalat hanekbazın. Hanekbaz means joker. Hanek means joke. Hanekbaz means joker. Bekiru khalat hanekbazın. It's z. Again, it ends in a consonant, so it should be n. Bekiru khalat hanekbazın. Bekir and khalat are jokers. And finally, let's learn when to use ne with plurals. Dayık dilşikandi ne. Mothers are heartbroken. Dilşikandi means heartbroken. I want to talk about something a little bit, not in detail, don't confuse, I want to say this. In Kurdish, there is no way to make nouns plural in the nominative case. So, for example, in English, you have mother, and mothers. you add an S. In Turkish, for example, you have anne and anneler. In Farsi, in Persian, you have madar and you have madarha or madaran. So you can make them plural. But in Kurdish, there is no way to make that. How are we going to understand it then? With the predicate. So if you say dayık dil şikan diye, it means and mother is heartbroken. But if you say dayık dil şikan dine, looking at the predicate, you can understand that the subject, the noun here, dayık, is a plural noun. So I'm going to talk about that in detail in following videos. Don't confuse your mind with that. Dayık dil şikan dine, mothers are heartbroken. And in the last example, mamoste, like you can see, it's preceded by I, so you need to use ne. Dayık dil şikan dine, mothers are heartbroken. Mamoste zana ne. Zana again ends in a vowel sound, so it should be ne. So as you can see here as well, mamoste zana ne. You cannot make mamoste plural with let's say with a preposition with anything. So it stands as it is in the singular form, but you can understand from the predicate. You can understand from the predicate that mamoste is plural. Mamoste zana ne. So in English you can say teachers. In Turkish you can say öğretmenler. In any language, like you can have you can, like, with an S in English, for example, with ler in Turkish, for example, with ha or an in Farsi, so etc. But in Kurdish there's no way. You understand from the predicate in the nominative case, okay? So as I said, I want to make something clear. A lot of Kurds, native Kurdish speakers also make this mistake. In the Kurdish language, when you have a sentence, a noun clause, the predicate is written separately. Whether it is plural, whether it is singular, it doesn't matter. I want to make it clear with two examples, with two quick examples. Can they see me? Yeah, okay. So for example, let's say Aydın Aydın is arrogant, and let's say Kurdîxane Qurra means arrogant, but I'm not arrogant. Thirsty. It's just for the example. Aydın Qurra. Aydın is arrogant. As you can see, since this is a noun clause, the predicate is always written separately if it is a noun clause. Whether it's a noun, whether it is an adjective, if it is a noun clause, the predicate ye, ne, all of them are written separately. Aydın Qurra. Aydın is arrogant. Xwendekar tîne. Students are thirsty. So they are written separately. All four of them. Ye, ne. All four of them are written separately in noun clauses. When to write them together with the verb? When it is a verb clause. But let's not confuse ourselves with that. We are going to learn it in following in next videos. So do not forget these. Try to practice them with your own examples, with your own sentences. Pay attention to the attentions. I've stressed ye, ne. When it is a noun clause, it's written separately. When it is singular, it is ye. When the subject is singular, it's ye, e or ye. If it's preceded by a consonant, it's e. If it's preceded by a vowel, it's ye. And in plural subjects, it's either or ne. If it's preceded by a consonant, it's in. And if it is preceded by a vowel, it is ne. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for listening to me. As I said, practice with your own examples, practice with your own sentences, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.